Hi, and welcome to another edition of Senior Moment. Thank you for joining us today for an informative moment exploring issues of interest to our seniors. Our guest today is Mr. Mike Brown, who is the President and CEO of Visit Vallejo. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
What is Visit Vallejo?
Visit Vallejo. Well, another name for Visit Vallejo might be another common term or name for an organization such as ours, which is a destination marketing organization, is Vallejo Convention and Visitors Bureau. And that's still our legal name, but we do business as Visit Vallejo. It's a lot easier, a lot cleaner, has a little more impact. That's what a lot of other destination organizations have gone to, like up north. You know, we have Visit Vacaville, Visit Fairfield, even the state of California is called Visit California, so it kind of fits in better. But we're the tourism arm for the city of Vallejo. We're an economic engine of theirs because the hotel provide funding for the city as well as funding for our organization through transit occupancy taxes, or what we get is called the Vallejo Tourism Business Improvement District. So either way, when a guest stays at a hotel here in Vallejo, they'll see both of those things on their bill. One would be the transit occupancy tax or tourism tax, some people call it, or the TOT, and it's 11% of the total bill. That goes directly to the city's general fund. The other part they'll see on their bill is a Vallejo Tourism Business Improvement District, which is a self-assessment by an organization. And in this case, it would be the hotels in Vallejo that self-assess themselves. And in this case, right now, that assessment is $1 per room per night if there's 40 or less hotel rooms, or it's $2 per room per night if the hotel has more than 40 rooms. That money comes to us to help promote Vallejo as a destination.
So what is your total annual budget?
Our budget is about $500,000, and about almost 95% of that represented by that bid that I just mentioned. The rest of it is some people call it a T-bid. The downtown call it a P-bid or a T-bid. It's done by different ways, And so that money, again, comes to us to help promote Vallejo.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So how many hotels in Vallejo are more than 40 rooms?
Well, that's a good question. I think we have about 10 that are less than 40, and the rest are all over 40. And we have 22 hotels in Vallejo. One of them, we would like to have 23, but one of them, unfortunately, is closed right now, and it's under construction to become, we think it's a Comfort Inn. It was the Ramada Inn, located over on Admiral Callahan near the Black Bear Diner. It's been closed, though, for over a year. It closed in October of 2018,
wow.
And yeah, they've been closed. So that's been a significant dent, put a significant dent in our funding.
Well, they probably have 150 rooms or something.
130.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could say it's almost about $5,000 a month that it hurts us that we don't get because they're closed.
Wow.
That's not a good thing. So what we've heard that they're going to be starting construction, we believe this week. They finally got their all the permitting in line and just need a couple more signatures they were supposed to get. And so hopefully we'll see some activity over there this week.
Are they changing the configuration of the building or just remodeling?
I don't know. They're totally remodeling, and they have to start even with the infrastructure. That the plumbing and the electricity are bad, we understand. So they're going to start there and then go from there. We have not seen any of the plans of what it looks like. All I only know is that it's going to be a Comfort Inn, and that the owner recently completed, at least last year, a renovation of a hotel in Antioch, and they said it's beautiful, and it was a Comfort Inn also. And so we're looking forward to this happening. It's just taking a little longer than we wanted, yeah, unfortunately.
Well, that's pretty cool. It seems like we don't have enough hotels in Vallejo. Would you say that?
Oh, that's exactly right. Yes, we could use some more hotels, especially on the higher end, or a little bit more of a 4-star hotel. We only have like maybe 3-star hotel, which serves only breakfast and lunch. There's not a hotel that actually has a full service restaurant that serves 3 meals a day. unfortunately. So you'd love to see a little higher end hotel come into Vallejo. And there's lots of talk about it in various locations, but nothing in writing yet is happening. There's going to be a new maybe boutique hotel, little unit down by the 37, Highway 37, and near Mare Island Bridge there. A small little inn built by the Napa River Realty folks.
Yeah.
There's still the hotel plans in the general plan for the waterfront on where the parking garage is. They just finished, or they just tore down the post office to build a parking, and then on there they're supposed to do another garage and then a hotel on top of that. So, and then there's been talk about, the Nimitz folks have been talking about possibly a hotel, and Nimitz Group is in charge of all of Mare Island now, and so one of the things they're looking at is a hotel. It's on their short list of things to do over there. So we're hoping that happens, but everything takes a little bit of time.
So the logic is that for you as an entity to promote tourism in Vallejo, or at least Vallejo as a destination or a place to stay, no matter what you're doing in the North Bay, that is what you do to generate income and people to stay in the hotels.
Right. Our goal is, and that's exactly what our mission is to bring people into Vallejo from outside of Vallejo to stay in our hotels and feed our economy by staying in the hotel, by eating in our restaurants, visiting our attractions, visiting our gas stations if they're traveling by car, shopping, any hardware, anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's all related to economic development for Vallejo. So a lot of times people will not understand, or they'll confuse us with the chamber as being a promoter of Vallejo, and we are, but we are more, again, from the outside of Vallejo. So a lot of the things we do people don't see because it's advertising outside of the Vallejo area, or we travel to a lot of trade shows. We have a director of sales, Carrie Baldwin, who has been with us nearly 20 years and veteran in the industry, and she does a wonderful job and travels a lot going to these different trade shows. And then a lot of the trade shows, there's two in particular, the National Association of Sports Commissions and the NASC, the National, excuse me, I'm missing on that one, but there's two shows that she goes to that are related to sports. So there's a lot of sport teams that come to Vallejo, not only, let's say, to play in some kind of tournament, but just to come because it's their end of the year trip that they take as a reward for a good season or for that. So we'll get a lot, and because of Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, we're a very attractive location and destination for those groups to want to come and do that kind of a thing. So we're lucky in that respect that we have a multi-million-dollar theme park here in our fair city to be able to help promote that. So you get a lot of sports teams, we get a lot of religious groups doing reunions, we get some meeting planners, although we just don't have a hotel that, as we talked about earlier, that has a large enough hotel that would have meeting space attached to it. We'd love to see that kind of a convention type of hotel.
Well, so I would think that the Sonoma Raceway, the wine country, the general category, Marine World, or Six Flags, and there's probably a handful of others. Those are the main draws to bring people in. Yes.
That's how we position ourselves. Is there's no place better to stay than in the Bay Area, and we've used a tagline for a long time called "Your Bay Area Fun Starts Here," because there's no place else that has a multi-million-dollar theme park that's so close to the wine country, has a ferry. Forgot the ferry, that's really a big seller to be able to take people to and from the city, as well as being close to other things like Jelly Belly. But we have our own history and museums and golf courses, and we have a lot of things to do for people here. There's a renaissance on what's going on downtown with shopping and the Empress Theater and things like that. So there's a great reason. Plus the other aspect is we're more affordable hotels than, let's say, staying in Napa or San Francisco. So that makes us another reason to why do you want to stay in Vallejo and not someplace else.
So there's a lot of discussion about expanding the transportation network from the SMART train from Napa to the Capitol Corridor in Suisun. There is actually existing trackage from Sonoma Raceway and actually Petaluma all the way to Napa Junction. So part of that would be to bring a light rail down to the ferry terminal.
Wouldn't that be great?
And they're talking about it now. You know, and once people have the political will and they start talking about it, you know that it's in the pipeline for development sometime. You know, something like that is 10 years out or more. But still, it's pretty exciting thinking that you could fly into San Francisco and never drive a car and end up in the Napa Valley, go to Sacramento, be on a public transportation network to go almost anywhere in the Bay Area.
It'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Yeah. Another thing that would be also awesome to see is the expansion of Highway 37, because that's been that goes, you know, from Vallejo to Sonoma. It'd be awesome to have 37 widened, and I know there's talk about that, and hopefully that's in the pipeline. I think too, down the road is to have that expanded to 4 lanes.
Well, there's 4 county congestion management agencies meet every other month to do the advanced planning, environmental and regional planning for the expansion of Highway 37. And it looks like they're proposing that it'll be an elevated causeway and a toll road. But that's probably 15 years away. But they actually they have a meeting here in Vallejo of the 4 counties and the supervisors and all those people this month.
Fantastic.
And they kind of rotate between all the different congestion management agencies. So tomorrow morning at 9:30 at Dan Foley.
Wow.
If you want to go.
All right. Very good.
Which, you know, obviously this show won't air soon enough for
right.
that. But I'll be there. So
well, that's cool.
yeah, if you want to check that out.
Yeah.
So I've heard there's also possibly another hotel that could be on the waterfront, would have a conference center. Something on the north end of Mare Island, he's alluded to that. And then the Solano 360 project.
Right.
Which could be huge.
Right.
To have a hotel right there other than...
there's a courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And across there is the Hampton. Yeah. The 2 largest hotels.
And I don't think we could have too much supply that would impact occupancy, because there's always a backlog of room availability for whatever comes up, Bottle Rock or...
Exactly, Tom. We found that a lot of the cases when those large groups like that, large events, that there's a spillover and it goes over to American Canyon or to Fairwood, because we don't have the hotels to fit everybody in, especially the type of hotels that they want. And so that's why you're exactly right. That hotel is so needed to be able to accommodate those people to stay in Vallejo and not someplace else, because their revenue's going someplace else when they're staying in another hotel outside Vallejo. So we're not getting that.
So your website includes events that are happening locally,
right,
and referrals to hotels. And what else would be on your website?
Right. We find a lot of our website. Besides, we think we have one of the best, if not the best, calendar of special events. So we urge everybody to check visitvallejo.com for events every day on what's coming up. But we also have all the information as far as sports. There's a lot of sports venues, and you know, the dimensions of the fields and the teams, and the history of some of the sports, major sports people that have lived in Vallejo. Just anything that's revolved around sports. We have a whole section devoted just to that, as well as meeting planning. There's all the venues that are in Vallejo, and we've got some tremendous venues for just having events and meetings. Like Dan Foley, as you mentioned, Cultural Center. You've got the Springbrook Masonic Temple, top of the hill with the most spectacular views of Vallejo. You have the fairgrounds with their folks. So there's a lot of different venues for that. So we have all that information on the website. You can go and check that and do your little shopping on before you actually go out and visit any of those venues for your event. And so we also have, which I didn't mention before when we were talking about funding, but I said 95% of our funding is through the Business Improvement District. The other part of it, most of it, about 25 or 30,000, is from members. We have members, or partners that we call them, and they pay us an annual fee for investment fee. A business is $220, a nonprofit is $110.
What's an individual?
I think it's 60.
Okay.
Yeah, very affordable. And it's because they just like to, we have some former mayors that are just like to support us, and they do that with an individual member. But so that money is good money that we take and we use as best we can from those members and partners. So they get some special privileges that other just regular businesses don't get. If like for our restaurants, we will refer our restaurants that are our partners or members first before we talk about it and the other restaurants in town, and same way with any kind of category of retail or what have you. So, and then all those folks get to help. We can promote them down in our visitor center. We didn't mention that. We have a visitor center located in the ferry terminal, and we did have our business offices located there up until a couple of years ago, when the Mare Island Brewing Company had an understanding with the city that if our space ever became available, they could have first option on it. Well, the city decided not to renew all of our space a few years ago because Mare Island Brewing Company wanted to expand. They wanted to expand. It needs more space for food, kitchen, freezers. They wanted more table space for their patrons. So unfortunately, they asked us to vacate a part of our operation. So our business office has moved to the USA World Classics Event Center. Buck Camphausen was nice enough to build us some offices there. We almost ended up where your offices are in over on Virginia Street, but you guys, we ran out of room. They ran out of room for us, so that's when Buck came up with the concept of building some offices for us in the USA World Event Center, which we've been very happy with and really like. We just miss our views of the waterfront, of course, since we were down right there in the ferry terminal. But we did get to keep our visitor center there in the ferry terminal, which was very important to us. We would not have been too happy about moving out of the building if we weren't able to keep our visitor center there. This really isn't any other location in the city that's better than the ferry terminal as far as providing visitors with information, and with that ferry going back so often, we're a great conduit there for the visitors that come to the city.
Yeah, apparently the ferry ridership is increasing 10% a year.
Amazing.
And they're at about 1.2 or 1.3 million people a year now.
It's amazing.
That's pretty phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
And I know I've been to the kiosk at the ferry building, and there's tons and tons of stuff to look at, for things to see, and particularly in San Francisco, but also up the Napa Valley. And
exactly.
So,
we try to cater to the guest or the visitor that's coming from San Francisco, not knowing what to do and see in our area, and then vice versa. We've got people leaving Vallejo, going to the city, wondering what do I do when I get there? Where do I go? What's major transportation modes that we can get around to see everything we want to see? So we play a critical role, we think, and a good role to the visitor when they come see us. Or
do you also have fun packets that you can give people at the?
We have for San Francisco. Pier 39 provides us with a fun packet for discounts and coupons for all kinds of things there at Pier 39. And sometimes if someone in advance has to come up with a little more, we can always do that too. But we just need a little advance notice.
And how do they get a hold of you?
How do they get a hold of us?
What's your website?
VisitVallejo.com is the website, and there's a place on there, of course, to contact us. And then, of course, phone numbers, our phone number, but it's okay to say the phone number?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. 642-3653 is the visitor center in the ferry terminal. Our business offices is 562-5677, so we have two different numbers to keep the things apart. But yeah, those are the numbers.
One other thing that is a big deal in Vallejo, in my opinion, is music. And there's a lot of talk about all the different great musicians that have come from Vallejo. I mean, there's probably a whole list of sports figures and stuff too. But do you also have information on like the Empress Theater, stuff that goes on there, and other places in town that have
Oh, absolutely.
Musical entertainment.
Oh, yeah. That, in fact, that probably takes up the bulk of our events on our website, and for materials that you can pick up when you're down at the ferry terminal and the visitor center. And that's music, and it starts with the Empress. They just have constant entertainment, and we have it on. They provide it to us on postcard type things, but we also put those. We're allowed to put information on the ferry. So there are bulletin boards that we have access to. So we can do that about once a month, and we rotate amongst our members who, what, and where get on there. So that's one advantage. And then the website's just full of musical entertainment and stage. You got Bay Area Stage Theater, who has a lot of entertainment. We're always promoting them. And again, of course, anything down at the Empress, and yeah, and all the events that. Yeah, we have a ton of events, yeah.
When did Visit Vallejo or Convention and Visitors Bureau, when were they established?
We were established back in 1987, if I'm not mistaken, when Marine World Africa USA, the year that they came up from Redwood City, shortly after that, the Convention and Visitors Bureau was formed. And it was formed in order to help promote Marine World Africa USA as a as a major attraction and destination to come to Vallejo. So that's where we got started. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at that time, all of the monies they established that transit occupancy tax at that time, and all the monies were supposed to come to the Convention and Visitors Bureau to promote Vallejo, but somehow it got changed a little bit through the years, and we didn't get all of it, but we got some of it, and then. They started cutting back. The city started cutting back on us, and that's when we came up with the Business Improvement District. It started in 2003. Thank goodness we did, because shortly after that, the city went through some financial difficulties. They withdrew all the monies and funding from many of the nonprofits like us, and they took all the money away from us. And thank God we, right before that, though, asked the hotels to raise the way we collect the bid, the amount of money we collect for the bid, and we got an increase then, and then that's where it's been ever since. But if we hadn't done that, it would have been really bad. We might not even be around today if we didn't get the hotels to raise the bid that year in 2007.
So you said Carrie Baldwin.
Carrie
has been 20-year employee.
Just about, yeah.
So what is that? 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly? Mm-hmm. Have you been around?
I just celebrated my 16th anniversary last December.
2004?
Yeah, 2003. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
That was a good year. Yeah.
It was. See, I came in, and that's when they had already really started on the bid, and I helped finish it that year when I came in. The work had begun on implementing a bid for us, and so I was fortunate to be there when that happened. So I got to reap the benefits in a way, because we got extra money to promote Vallejo, and that was heaven.
So how many employees do you have at the center?
We have a total of 7. One of those being more of a contractor employee, our bookkeeper, who we actually, Lisa Gannon, she used to be with us. But she left a number of years ago. She got married and moved to Sacramento, but we kept her on in a contractual basis to help do our bookkeeping. But we have Carrie Baldwin, I already mentioned, as the director of sales. We have Jim Murkowski, who's our liaison, film liaison for the Vallejo Solano County Film Office, as well as he does our PR and membership. He helps out with membership. And then we have Manny Angel, who's our digital marketing guy, who came on about 4 years ago now, I think, and helps us with all our social marketing and media, and it's very talented. He does a lot of extra things too. Filming and photography are both are very good at. Then we have Dalia Vidor, who's our visitor center specialist down at the visitor center, running that for us on most of the time. And then we have a part-time employee, Dean Craig, who helps at the visitor center. So I think that takes care of it.
Yeah, it's a good-sized group.
Yeah, we've been together a long time too. It's what's cool. I'm very fortunate that all of these employees have been there a long time too. So they like their jobs, and and they like what they do. We have the best jobs in Vallejo, so we get to talk about all the fun and good things that happen in Vallejo, and there doesn't come any better than that, right?
Yeah, and it's also an indication of good leadership.
Oh, thank you.
Which I think you can take some responsibility for.
Well, maybe a little. Thank you.
So the last thing I was thinking about covering a little bit is the Film Commission and your liaison there. I think you have a guy who's expert dealing with the film industry, plus he's a microbrew specialist.
Yes, he is. He has his seat at the bar there that he has his name on. He was like right in the corner. That was one of the first seats when they opened that he has. He got. So yes, he is. That's Jim Rakowski, and he's been with us longer than anyone. Although unfortunately, we had to take his position a number of years ago when we were having some funding issues because of the city and all that. We had to reduce him from full time to part-time, but yeah, he provides a key position, especially when it comes to people looking for filming in Vallejo, doing advertisements. He's a one-stop shop. You just got to talk to him first, and then working with Annette Taylor at the city, they help cut through all the paperwork and all the tediousness that would go into, if you're looking for a site for something.
Yeah, so I think I remember Paramount Pictures, Netflix, 13 Reasons Why was filmed in Vallejo. Mm-hmm. Bumblebee was a Disney movie. Years ago, they had Dustin Hoffman and Sharon Stone and whatever the hell that was, Sphere.
Yeah, Sphere, right.
And then they had Jack, another
Yep,
movie.
lot of Robin Williams movies were shot here, and 51st dates or 500 dates. The one with Adam Sandler. And,
oh yeah.
And and the other gal, I can't remember her name. Anyway, 51st dates.
She was a 52nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being here today. It always goes quickly when you have an interesting topic, and we're out of time.
Really?
So
that was fast.
Yeah. But thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you do for Vallejo, and appreciate all your efforts in that arena.
Well, thank you, Tom. I'm a lucky guy, as I said, to be able to do what I do and do it for as long as I have done it, and living here, it's the best.
Cool. All right. Well, with that, our show airs at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays at AT&T Uverse 99, Comcast 27, and streaming live video, vcat.tv. So appreciate you joining us for the informative moment this afternoon, and we hope to see you next time.